So history told through words and writing. 1. Hanzi Chinese characters. Must sometimes be understood by sound and other times by meaning or shape. 2. At some point as productivity grew, political manipulators emerged. First, the Han power. People often confuse this with modern state units. Han was a faction that managed, controlled, or simply lived by the waters of the Han River Han Shui. Tang was originally Tang Tao Tang, a community dealing with pottery, existing since the Xia, Shang, and Zhou dynasties. Later, as it grew and population increased, the name changed to Tang Du Tang, much later bringing in Silla royalty, and adding the cliff house radical, Yan representing a wide hall or pavilion. For a Lord Jun, it became Tang. Here, the famous Xia tribe living by the waters appears. This Xia is considered the same as the river He. Dictionaries changed it to a grand or large house. Similarly, they are people living around the Yellow River. There is a separate character for a big house Xia, but using Xia simply is likely the fixation of a phonetic loan. Gotcha, Jia phenomenon. They left work to subordinates, wandered around loafing, acted like intellectuals, and formed cartels. In other words, they formed interest cartels and began distorting history. 3. Originally, JG managed the waterways of the entire continent. There were J in various regions, and Baekje by Ji emerged to integrate them. Silla emerged as a new force due to thriving silk trade and founded Silla Xinluo. Presumably until this time, Guri oversaw the entire nation, sending blood relatives everywhere. Silla, enriched by the silk trade, brought in the Tang faction to expand its territory, joining hands with the Handangxia interest cartel, abandoning its founding ideals to pursue interests. In this process, those who opposed this went to Hancock and founded East Silla. General Kim Yushin and the Hwarang Hyangdo were also purged. The Changi Paranga was created at this time, for afterward they arbitrarily manipulated and fabricated continental history, fracturing the lineages of Guri, Buyo, and Goguryeo, delaying their founding dates and acting as if they were the masters of the continent. Amidst this, the fact that their names remain a single character implies internal friction among them, and that Guri still ruled the entire continent. In other words, until this time they were still just local factions. Finally, Goryeo emerged to clean up these shenanigans. Meanwhile, Song, the southern faction that survived, mainly by living on wood, which did not ally with them, was preserved. Today we call them Tang, Song, Han, Chije, Yan, Wei, and Xia. Yan, a faction serving contact and communication functions, suited to the characteristics of swallows and geopolitical locations. Wei, a ghost tribe, heaven-worshipping faction with rice, women, ghosts guy, agricultural production. He, Na, spiritual ritual authority, and shamanic control. At the same time, looking at its location, it served as Wei, protecting the Wei River and acting as a guard. And Han, a flood control faction, operating around the Yellow River. Xia, a fat-bellied, spoiled thug faction, living on fertile land. Song, a struggling faction living in wetland wooden houses, who later seemed to fall for the tricks of the Handangxia cartel. Even so, until this point, they were mere local factions. However, in the 20th century, Mao smashed everything, arbitrarily turned these factions into nations, split Guri into 3 countries. Creating modern history, this is what I have organized so far. It sounds a bit like a novel and is still personal speculation, but I think it holds a degree of validity. I hope this helps with your historical research. Thank you.